All right, everyone. Welcome to Intro to GIS for the fall 2015 semester. This is a 100% online course. However, if you're enrolled in the class, students do have access to Cook 125 and Cook 124, which are the department's GIS labs. 125 is often used for teaching, but is available when classes aren't in session, and 124 is open as long as Cook is open. And basically, to get access into that building, you will need to use your student ID card. So what I want to do today is to briefly review the syllabus and also show you guys how to access course content through D2L and also get you to set up an ArcGIS online account and a few other housekeeping things. So what I want you guys to do to access the course content is to go log into D2L. And if you mine's going to look a little bit different, but basically you're going to look for your fall 2015 course offerings, and this is GEOS 250. And so you can click on that and you will get access to the content. And so, you can kind of customize your D2L screen so that it looks like you want. Over here, we have some widgets. A calendar widget might show you what's going on, upcoming events. And then we have our content browser and then news. But I don't particularly like this setup. So what I would like you guys to do is to click on this content button, and I'm actually going to view mine as a student so that it looks more like yours would. So I'll go here, click on content, and we can see the overview tab is going to give you access to the syllabus. And what we're going to do is go through that really quickly, and then I'll come back to D2L and show you guys what else is in here. Okay, so I'll go hit this button and I'll expand. So just keep in mind that the course is a 4-credit course. So what this basically means is that we have lectures and lessons, which in this case are Monday through Friday that are online. You can kind of do it at your own pace, but Fridays when things are due. We also have labs that go on during the week as well. Here's my contact information. If you need to come see me for office hours, I do hold office hours in person Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 10 to 11, and Thursday from 1 to 3. You can also schedule an appointment if those times don't work, or we can meet in a virtual office hour, which we can set up online. Prerequisites, there are none for this course, so you don't have to have any prior experience with GIS or geography. You just have to kind of have a desire to learn. And basically what we're going to go over in this class is we're going to learn the essentials of mapping and geospatial analysis. And we're going to do this by exploring a wide variety of topics and disciplines. So we'll look at traditional geography applications. There's some geology, biology, health, and maybe even business type activities and labs that we'll work on. So this really hits a very broad audience and hopefully applies to any major that you have. So I mentioned before, there's both lectures and lessons, which go over kind of the core principles of GIS, which is Geographic Information Systems. And then we have these applied lab-based kind of activities where you manage, process, and interpret geospatial data. So basically, as I mentioned, you don't have to have prior experience, but you need to be pretty good with a computer. You need to know how to copy files, unzip files, use Excel, use Word. Also keep in mind that this course is pretty fast paced, so don't fall behind. You really got to keep up with the weekly tasks. And really what I want you guys to learn how to do is to think spatially about problem solving, and to kind of get some initiative and interest in geography. So I strongly encourage you guys to talk to each other, share your experiences, and be active in participating in discussion forums that I'll show you here a little bit later. As I mentioned, D2L is really central to the organization of this course. So all material, lectures, lessons, labs, everything is on D2L. So you're going to go there daily or every other day to basically see what needs to be done. This is designed as an asynchronous online course, but there are due dates. So you need to think about doing the activities in order. and basically all lessons and labs are going to be due on Fridays. So you could, in theory, work faster, but we do have due dates to kind of keep you guys on track. So lessons, labs due Fridays. Don't miss them. I don't accept late work. Just to talk a little bit about lesson assignments. These are really tutorial lessons where you're expected to kind of independently complete the exercises and also the examinations. It's like a self-learning stage, but I'm available if you need. There are videos, there are interactive activities, all sorts of things. And what's really nice about a lot of these lessons is that when you complete it, you get a certification file that you can store and put in your resume or portfolio to kind of show that you do have some credentials. And so basically, once you complete these, you'll upload a graphic file that you onto D2L, and I review that. But they're pretty straightforward. There are also lab assignments, and so each week students will basically need to complete one, maybe less lab assignment, which focuses on a very specific aspect. And there are video tutorials that I've created to help guide you through this. So I highly recommend that you kind of watch the video and work through the activities or the labs at the same time. There's also a course participation component to this class, which basically means that you're going to be active and involved in D2L discussion forums. For the very first day, there's several places that you're going to have to post, but as we progress through the semester, you'll see that each module has a help forum, among other things. So I really want you guys to use that to your advantage. If you find a solution, post it. If you have a problem, post it, and hopefully our classmates will participate in that and produce some good content. In addition to that, there's going to be some midterms and finals. There's basically two midterms and one final. Obviously, in a class like this, the final is comprehensive because we're building on stuff the whole semester. And if we look down, let's see, I'll just jump down here. We can see that lessons are 30% of your grade. Labs are another 30%. Participation is 10%, and each examination is 10% as well. So there are a few course requirements that I want you to be aware of. The first is that if you're going to be working from home, or if you're a distant student and you cannot make it to campus, there is some required software and hardware that you'll need. It's very important that you have a Windows-based PC, hopefully not Windows 10 because we're just not compatible with that yet. You need at least 2 gigs of RAM, some sort of spreadsheet program, and if you happen to have a Mac, where you're going to have to email me for some help because you're going to have to get Windows on there so that you can install the ArcGIS and QGIS software that we use. There is a book for this class. However, you can kind of do the course without the book, so it's kind of optional. But the reason I like the book is because it provides a 180-day trial version of ArcGIS Desktop. So make sure that, or if you want, buy the GIS 20. It's just a good book to keep around, and like I said, that will give you ArcGIS on your computer. Although I do have a video you'll be watching later that shows you how to download a trial version off the web if you don't choose that approach. So we can see here some of my course objectives. So basically, when this class is done, I want you to know the history and background of GIS and the geospatial revolution. You need to know major software trends, where to get geospatial data. You will be versed on the properties of spatial data and how that's different from non-spatial data. You're going to learn a lot about geographic projections. You're going to learn how to turn non-spatial data into spatial data. We will investigate various types of geographic phenomena with both attribute and spatial queries. And a query is basically a term for a question. You will also learn how to create, edit, and manipulate geospatial data. And we will do several labs that involve overlay analysis, where we overlay many different types of maps or data together. We will also extensively use proximity tools and spatial analyst tools. At the end of this, all of you will be able to produce professional quality maps. As I mentioned, for support, I got office hours and virtual office hours. There's also discussion forums, so let's make sure that we use those. I will be grading things on Friday of each week. Those grades pop up in D2L. There's also a tentative schedule that I post in D2L, which I'll show you here in a minute. And if you happen to be a student with a disability, send me an email ASAP so we can work out your accommodations. And please remember that there's an honor code, so no cheating, right? You can talk to each other, but everyone turns in their own work. Okay, so now that we've gone through that, why don't we go here and explore D2L. So the first thing that I want to make you aware of here is the course schedule. So if you go here, you're going to see all upcoming events. So you can see that today was where we started with our content, and I want you to work on Module 1, which basically involves you completing some discussion forums, watching some videos, reading a paper, and then if you want, you should start working on installing the software on your personal computer. And then we can see next week we have Module 2, where you will be working on both Lab 1 and Lesson 1. So, you might be wondering what's going on with modules and things like that. And so if we look over here in the table of contents, we can see we have these different tabs. The first one is actually Look Here First. So what you guys are going to want to do on your first day is go to Look Here First. And you can see that there's a discussion forum that I want you to post in, and there's also a video, the video I'm making right now, which is reviewing the syllabus and intro to GIS. There's also a video that introduces GIS, and then it's going to say, hey, look, if you go to the modules page, you can pull up more detailed information for the first learning module. You can either go here, and it will pull up modules down below, or you can go over here and you can actually click on the modules page. Okay, so now we can see we got 12 modules. So, some of them take a little bit longer in a week. But if we go here and we click on Module 1, it's going to provide you with very detailed instructions on what you need to do. And so one of the things that I want you to do is to create an ArcGIS online account. So you can use this link and you can get there. I also want you to make sure that you have a Gmail account so that we can have virtual chats if need be. You have to make sure that you read the syllabus. And part of that is also watching this video. Now, more content-based, what I want you guys to do this week is to watch the Geospatial Revolution videos. There's actually 4 of them that are about 15 to 20 minutes a piece. So, spread it out over the week, but by Friday, I want you to have those done. And then I want you to post a comment on the Geospatial Revolution discussion forum. Then you're going to respond to one other student's post. And the reason I want you to start doing this is because being active in forums is a skill that you need to have if you're going to operate in the GIS community. So yeah, here's just some instructions. And then I also want you to read, there's a paper called The Changing Geospatial Landscape. And I also want you to make a post about that. So yeah, so this is basically the learning modules. Up here is where the discussion forums are, so you can see the very first post that you need to make are discussion on the geospatial revolution. There will be a discussion on the changing geospatial landscape. Then you're going to tell me about yourself. So, why are you in the class? Where are you from? What's your major? What do you want out of this? So just be sure to post in here because it's going to introduce all of us to each other. You can also see as we go down through here, there's module posts for Lab 1, Lab 2, so on and so forth. So everything's in there. Okay, I'm going to go back here to content. And you will see that there's also labs, lectures, and videos. So if we go into lessons, these are where you go to gain access to the different lesson components. And the very first one is getting started with GIS. And I'm just going to show you very quickly how this whole process works. And so this is going to pull up a training lesson, and you're going to have to log in using your ArcGIS online account that you've created. And then it's going to pull up a learning module, and you're going to want to start from the beginning. There's an introduction. You can see there's a video about what is GIS. It talks about how GIS works. So there's text, video components, and then when you see ease, there's also exercises. And this one's going to take you about 15 minutes, but you download some data, you interact with it, and so basically you just follow the steps involved in this. And then when you're done, you're going to go down to this examination, and it's usually a 10-question exam, and to pass this you have to score an 80. You can take it as many times as you want, but once you have passed it, what it's going to do is it's going to present you with a certificate, which looks something like this. And you're going to save this as a PDF, and you're going to name it with your username. So for me, I'm Andrew Foy. It would be A Foy, and then lesson 1. So it'd be A Foy lesson 1, A Foy lesson 2, 3, 4, so on and so forth. If you don't name it correctly, I'm going to take off 10 points. So you get a 9 out of 10 instead of a 10 out of 10. Okay, good. So that's how we do lessons. Now we'll also go back here, back to the table of contents, and I want you to look at, there's also labs, same thing. Some of the labs have associated data with it, so if you're working on lab 3, you need to get the lab 3 instructions, and you also have to download the lab 3 data. Now with the labs, there are also videos, and if you go to the video tab, you will see that this is where all the videos are cataloged. So there's no video for lab 1, but for lab 2 there is, and so you can see lab 2 video for Dinosaur National Monument Spatial Analysis Lab. So you'll get your labs here, and then you'll go into the video section and watch the videos that are associated with the lab. There's also a lectures tab where the actual PowerPoints are stored if you need them for studying or for note taking. There's also a readings tab where I post different readings. You can see this is the first one that you need to read, the changing geospatial landscape. And then there's also a resources tab where I post things periodically. And finally, a midterm and finals tab. Now, all assignments and lessons are going to be submitted through the Dropbox, so don't pay attention to these dates. Yours will be updated, but if you go click on Dropbox, you can upload things through this console. Okay, so that's basically our review of D2L, and we've gone over the basically how D2L works and the syllabus. So if you have any questions, please feel free to contact me, and I want you guys to go ahead and get started on the activities and look here first. And let's go ahead and have a great semester, and don't hesitate to contact me if you need anything. That's all for today. Bye.